No, you're most welcome, and hopefully you're not alone. And there's a few others out there that can sort of relate and this resonates with. But I'm just going to take this opportunity to add two more points onto what I said on my earlier video. They're both kind of centered around comments on social media, but with kind of different spins. Firstly, I see quite a lot of people that seem a bit disheartened and, I don't know, this sort of disinterested in this app, I suppose, because of the censorship and everyone else, and also to deal with the sort of commonality of trolls and their comments every single day, and feeling sort of like they're banging their head against a brick wall. And whilst I completely understand that, and I feel the same way all the time too, I'm quite often get told off for responding to these people. Like, why do I bother? The reason that I bother, and the reason that I think that you should still bother, is because it's not about necessarily the person you're responding to directly. It's about the next person that could see that exchange, whether that's a written comment or whether it's a video or what. So just because the person you're responding to might act like they've had their brain microwaved at birth, doesn't mean that the next person that reads that exchange and reads how you handle yourself and read that you answer their questions and they don't come back with anything isn't going to think, there's something to this actually might have something. You never know that. And the amount of times now where I'll get a notification of a comment from 6-7 weeks ago on a video, so it shows that people are still reading those exchanges and they're still sort of resonating with them, and it's making them think. So yeah, it's not necessarily the person that you're responding to or even the next 3 or 4 people that read it, but there is still always that potential it's going to happen. So even when you're sort of being hard on yourself for thinking that you're not doing anything, actually sometimes something you wrote a year ago even is still having an effect somewhere. So acknowledge that. And I guess the second part is there's a lot of big name activists out there who aren't doing this, and I don't mean this as some sort of unneeded criticism. I mean, plenty of them just don't have the time, but obviously there's a case that some of them see it as beneath them too. And if you've been a supporter of these people for some time, then you probably already know the answers to these questions. But if you've only just recently transitioned or are transitioning and you've just found out about one of these people and then no longer responding to these sort of basic comments that they see beneath them, you're not learning how to respond yourself. So when they come onto yours or mine or anyone else's, they are learning how to do that. They are learning how to do it. And for a lot of people, the fear of how to answer these questions or how to justify or how to explain yourself is a big part of what puts them off, because they think, well, what am I going to say if someone says this to me? How am I going to know the answers? I don't know them. When in reality, most of it is very simple and it's very easy information to find out. It's just the fact that they need the platform or some way to relate to find it. And you and me and everyone else that's making this kind of content, we are that. We're not too big, we're not too special, we're not too arrogant, and that's how people will transition. So just keep doing what you're doing, everyone. You're doing amazing, honest.